Sarah Idahosa is a versatile professional distinguished for her proficiency in Web3 community development, educational initiatives, and decentralized finance research. She serves as the esteemed founder of Women in DeFi, a pioneering community dedicated to empowering women with comprehensive knowledge of blockchain technology and and adeptly navigating the Web3 ecosystem, utilizing their existing Web2 competencies. In addition to her pivotal role at Women in DeFi, Sarah also assumes the position of partnership and community growth at Mansa, a DeFi RWA protocol. She has previously worked with other Web3 projects such as Cassava Network, Meet of Money, African Tech Summits, and Mara, showing her expertise in Web3 through her stewardship. Sarah facilitates seamless connections between individuals and the manifold advantages inherent in the Web3 landscape, drawing upon a robust background in blockchain education. Sarah is deeply committed to facilitating individuals' transition from Web2 to Web3. As a respected thought leader, she is a sought-after speaker at tech conferences and blockchain events, where she shares her insights on community growth strategies, DeFi insights on community growth strategies, DeFi adoption, and the future of Web3. Her talks are known for their clarity, depth, and ability to make complex concepts accessible to diverse audiences. In addition to her speaking engagements, Sarah is an active content creator, regularly publishing articles and thought pieces on her socials. Her writing and videos cover a wide range of topics from beginner-friendly introductions to DeFi to in-depth analysis of emerging trends in the Web3 ecosystem. As a Web3 educator, Sarah is committed to demystifying blockchain technology and making it accessible to a broader audience. She conducts workshops, webinars, and online courses that help individuals and businesses understand the practical application of blockchain and DeFi. Sarah's vision is to create a more inclusive and decentralized financial system through education, community building, and advocacy. Her work continues to inspire and guide the next generation of blockchain enthusiasts and DeFi innovators. Please, ladies, let us welcome our speaker for today, Mrs. Sarah Idahosa. She's going to be teaching us on democratizing access to financial service globally. Welcome, Ms. Sarah.
Hello. Hi, everyone. Good evening, good afternoon. Sorry, it's evening here. Yeah. Good evening, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. Pleasure to be here with everyone. Please, can everyone hear me clearly? If you can hear me, could you please just react? Just send a reaction or something so I know you can hear me.
We can hear
Perfect.
you, Ma.
Great. Thank you so much. Yeah. So I'm happy to be here today to discuss or lecture or talk about this topic because it's one that I am most passionate about. It is one that involves everything that I do. So please give me a minute. Let me bring up my screen and we can get started with the presentation. Okay, can everyone see my screen? Can everybody see my screen, please?
Yes, ma'am, we can see your screen.
Perfect. So today we're talking about decentralized finance and how it's democratizing access to financial services globally. Just like the speaker, or rather our MC or our host introduced, my name is Sarah Dausa, and it's not Mrs., it is Miss because I'm unmarried. I'm the founder of Women in DeFi, a nonprofit that educates young girls and women about blockchain technology and how to build a career in the blockchain space. Beyond impact, I lead partnerships at Mansa, which happens to be a DeFi protocol, or rather, I would say a stablecoin protocol where we provide loans, we provide credits to businesses that are involved in cross-border transactions using stablecoins. And overall, I do programs management as well as community management for Web3 brands. That's if you're looking to build a community in Web3 space, I help with growth strategies to help build your community and also help manage programs to effectively grow your brand in Web3 space here in Africa. So yeah, about what we're going to be talking about today, we're going to first of all try to understand what DeFi is, why DeFi matters, the core components of DeFi, the real world impact of DeFi. That's like beyond saying technology now, we know that it's tech, like in real world, what are the things that DeFi can actually be used for? Then we'll also talk about some of the current challenges that DeFi is facing, as well as other opportunities that it opens to everyone. So first of all, I would like to know, does anyone here have a basic knowledge of Web3 or DeFi before now? I just want to know, sorry, hold on. Is there anybody who has like basic knowledge of Web3 before now? If you do, could you just like put your hand up or something? I want to try and make this session as interactive as possible. Nobody. Wow. That's shocking. Um Okay. Does anyone here have knowledge about blockchain? Probably you learned it from this session that is going on. Probably not this session, like not my session, but maybe has any speaker come here before to talk to us about what blockchain is or what Web3 is? No one is saying anything. At least you could probably just say no or something on the comments so I'll know.
I Okay, I have a very little knowledge on Web3. The knowledge I actually have is, what they call airdrops. I've been participating in that. I don't know if you know airdrops, that hamster combat and all of that.
Yeah, I do.
That's the only knowledge I have.
Okay. All right. I won't particularly call that knowledge, but yeah, I will get to that. Omar Equise, I noticed your hand was up. Do you want to share with us? Omar, you're free to unmute your mic and speak. Okay. I don't know. Was everybody's mic disabled? Let me
Yeah,
be sure.
Hello, sorry,
Yes,
Omar,
that's
are
just
you
on
speaking?
blockchain. I think during our can you hear me? Raised my hand. She asked if anyone knows anything about blockchain or Web3. And I wanted to say during one of the sessions we had earlier this week, one of the speakers talked to us about blockchain. So it's from there I got to know what blockchain is all about. So I have just a little knowledge about what it is. And I
Okay,
think
can you please tell
blockchain,
us
according to what he said that
in
day, he said that it's like a system that keeps records. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Go on. Yes, I can hear you. Go on.
Hello?
Yes, Sarah, we can hear you. Ladies, please be responsive. Let me just lay a little
Yes,
background.
I was trying to say that
Sarah
according to what
just
I learned
traveled.
that day, a blockchain is like a ledger, kind of decentralized ledger that keeps track of transactions across a network. Okay.
All right, thank you very much
Oh,
for that, Mama.
okay.
Miss Debbie, sorry.
Sarah, sorry.
Go
Yeah.
on.
So, ladies, please, let's make this class very interactive and very responsive to Sarah. On a normal note, I'm sure she should be tired by now. Sarah just traveled, and as a result of her dedication to supporting women and what we do on this platform, and in alignment with her own vision, also, she's made it a point of duty to be here, not because it's convenient, right? So, please, let's be responsive so she can quickly deliver this to you and make it so you can find that impact. So the ones you have the understanding about, please respond. You've dealt with sessions over and over again on blockchain. So most of you do speak well during the X space and the rest of it. So please respond when she asks questions so she doesn't get exhausted about this whole thing, okay? So, Sarah, I appreciate you being here. And ladies, please, let's remind others to join the sessions. I know that you've had the first session before now. She's also had a lot of things on her table, but she's made it here today at this time. So please, let's be very responsive to the questions and all that. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you so much. Sorry, please hold on. I'm trying to. Please give me a minute. Hold on. Okay, can everyone hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Perfect. So I'm trying to like share my screen with my other device so I can like turn on my cam here and also interact with us on the chat for the call. So I have to like join with my other device. So yes, as I was saying, thank you very much for that explanation, Omar. I'm so sorry. I was supposed to like respond, but thank you also, Miss Debbie. I think she's left the call or something for the little comments you just give to us. So since we've already gotten a basic understanding of what blockchain is, I think I'll just like go straight to talking about DeFi. Now, before I will explain using the definition that is there on my screen, from what Omar said, we are told that blockchain is more of like a digital ledger that helps to like record transactions, but it's more of like an infrastructure in which, or rather on which people build different things. Now, when we come to DeFi, DeFi is just an acronym that refers to blockchain-based financial services that operate without traditional intermediaries like banks. So what this is trying to tell us is that just think of your normal financial transactions, which includes saving, normal buying and selling, insurance. Just think of anything that you do bank. It is literally the same thing that you can do on the blockchain space, but everything that has to do with finance as it concerns the blockchain is called DeFi. Now, the reason why they call it DeFi is decentralized finance. When you say something is decentralized, it simply means that nobody is in charge of anything. There is no form of intermediaries. So I'll give you a good example. Our traditional banking system, or rather our traditional financial system, we have the banks in charge of everything that we have to do. In Nigeria, the central body that is in charge of all banks or financial services is our CBN, Central Bank of Nigeria. This means that if there is anything that wants to happen, central bank is the one that gives that tells the other banks, oh, this is the new and terms that you have to go through or that you have to follow, that your customers, your clients, this is what everyone has to follow. And whatever it is that central bank says, that is what everybody must do. That is why you see that I think it was last year, January last year, when we were out of cash, central bank said they wanted to print new money. So because of that, they stopped circulation of like the old money, so it wouldn't like continue to circulate in the country. And they're trying to like print new money so they could bring that out to the market. We all understood how difficult it was for everyone at that point in time. That was because there is someone or there is a particular body that is in charge of making all of these decisions. And DeFi is now trying to tell us that we can do financial services without anybody being in charge of everything that we do. Like nobody gets to tell you, oh, you can't withdraw money today. Nobody gets to tell you that, oh, today we're printing new money, so you can't have access to your funds and whatnot. Instead, in DeFi, what I will usually say is that you are your own bank and you are your own banker. How is this possible, you may want to ask? It is possible through what they call smart contracts. I think later during the presentation, I'll still like talk about it. But we should just know that like everything that happens on the blockchain is through what they call smart contracts. So smart contracts are more of like codes that people use to like the developers that they create. And this code works using what they call the if then this. It sounds confusing, I know. It works through what they call the principle of if then this, meaning if this person clicks on this, then this is the result of the action, or rather if action takes place, this is going to be the result of the action. So I was trying to say something. Yeah, DeFi uses the smart contract feature for all of this stuff. And that is why anytime you want to buy something, like you want to carry any form of transaction virtually, and maybe you click on, depending on the particular DeFi protocol or DeFi platform that you're using to like carry out whatever transaction you need to do. If you click on buy. If you click on sell, you'll be able to sell. You see how our MC Sharon, when she was like talking about hamster combat and whatnot, those are like sort of games. Those are games in the blockchain space. But when you talk about the financial aspects of it, which is where crypto now falls under, because it's crypto is more of like the digital currency that is used to carry out any form of transaction. But let's say the process of you using your hamster combat to carry out a particular transaction on the blockchain, that is now categorized under DeFi, because DeFi is more of like the financial aspect of things. Please, is everyone flowing and are we getting everything I've been saying so far? If you have, just drop a comment. You don't need to unmute your mic. Just drop a message and I'll be checking the chat to know if we're following. And if you also follow, you can also just react like the others are doing right now. The thumbs up will make me know that, yeah, you understand what I am saying. Okay, perfect. Love it. Love it. So yeah, DeFi is basically everything that has to do with financial services as they concern the blockchain. Now, there are several key features of DeFi. The first, there says open access. The next says permissionless, transparent, and is immutable. Now, open access. The DeFi space is open access and permissionless. They actually go hand in hand. So I would explain the both of them together. You see how I'm sure when the person that came to talk about blockchain told us how you can easily track whatever form of transaction that is going on in the blockchain space, because like through blockchain explorer. So if someone sends you money, instead of the person to lie and say, you know how people do scams, yeah, and they used to do fake alerts and whatnot. Something like this is very impossible in the blockchain space, in the DeFi space, because if someone sends you any form of like crypto assets or whatnot, there's what they call transaction hash, which you use to go and verify all of these things, if that money actually like left the person's wallet and if it has really gone to your own wallet and stuff. So DeFi is open access. Anybody can carry out any form of financial transaction in the DeFi space. I don't know if anybody has experienced traveling to the village. I don't know, like where we're from, but I remember one time I went to my mom's village and I needed to do something, like I needed to do a sort of like banking transaction, and I had to like go to the next town. I know the cost, like how much I had to spend to get to the next town to do what I needed to do, because that was where the bank was located, and I had to pay money to come back. Now, DeFi is trying to tell you that you don't need to carry out like, you don't need to travel long distance to be able to do any form of financial transaction. In as much as you have access to a smartphone, you also have access to the internet. You have the privilege of participating in any form of like DeFi transaction that you need to carry out. You have the privilege to do any sort of like transaction or anything you need to do in the DeFi space. It is not restricted, it is permissionless. You don't need, there's no central body controlling any form of transaction or the activities that go on in DeFi space. Hold on, a couple of people are trying to join this call. Yeah. So you don't need to go and take permission. There's no such thing as CBN when you're like doing any sort of like DeFi transaction. All you need is a wallet, which happens to be an application, a decentralized wallet rather, or a self-custodial wallet, which is an application that you get installed in your phone, like Trust Wallet, MetaMask wallet. These are like the two most popular ones here in Nigeria, but there are several other wallets that people use, but these two are the most popular. Then there is also Phantom Wallet. Yeah, these three are very like the most prominent wallets used in Nigeria or like in Africa in general when it comes to like carrying out DeFi transactions. As much as you have access to Trust Wallet, MetaMask, or Phantom, you have your crypto asset or the token or the coin that you want to use to carry out that particular form of transaction. You can transact easily. Very recently, I found out that there are a couple of places right now that you can even use USDTs. USDT is what they call a stable coin. People like, there's some places where you can use USDT to carry out, to make payments. So at this point in time, you don't even need to have cash in it. I think during that time, like I explained early last year when we were having cash issues here in Nigeria, what I was using to sort out my payments at that time, like my friends that are in the DeFi space that sell things, I just send them crypto and I get whatever it is that I needed, like whatever it is I needed to purchase from them. But in our country, Nigeria, right now, not everyone, like it is not generally accepted. But I'm just trying to let you know that you can use it to carry out like transactions as much as you have the crypto assets that you need to like use to make that purchase. And the next thing there is transparent. So whatever it is that you're doing, in as much as like, for the fact that it's built on the blockchain technology, it can be tracked. So anything that you see that utilizes the blockchain technology for its function, like anything that has to do with blockchain, be it the DeFi aspect or NFTs or GameFi, whatever it is, you can be able to like do any of these activities and be able to track it. So that way, when someone tells you they're sending you money, or rather they sent you money, or somebody, or you want to like borrow, take a loan. Yes, you see how we can also do all this, take loans from the banks and whatnot. You can also do that using DeFi protocols. There are specific DeFi protocols that are in charge of doing that. If you want to borrow a loan or whatnot, you can track it there on the blockchain explorer to see oh, okay, this is the amounts that you like that you loaned from that particular DeFi protocol. And you see the smart contract I mentioned earlier, it is still through the smart contracts that they set the terms of that particular loan. You know how when you want to collect money, I see that after 30 days, if you don't like pay back the money that you loaned from the bank, the collateral that you have to drop, they will have to like liquidate it. They will have to take it. It's the same thing in the blockchain space. It's the same thing in DeFi. The only difference now is that instead of physical properties and whatnot, it is still other forms of like crypto assets that you use as your collateral when you're taking a loan. But the point in all of this is everything is verifiable on chain. You can view everything, like the loan that you're borrowing, whatever it is that you're putting as your collateral, all of these things, you can track it on the particular blockchain network that you are using to do this transaction. Then the last key feature there is immutable. So the blockchain space is immutable. This is something everyone knows. I believe everybody in this session today, if you joined the session where they talk about blockchain, you should know what immutability means. So when they say something is immutable, it simply means whatever it is that has gone in there cannot come out. It can't be changed. So let's say you wanted to borrow, for example, you wanted to borrow $5 from a particular DeFi protocol, and maybe you now want to go and borrow $10. You can't go and change it. Did you get? So you have to like now have to return that $10 you borrowed. Then you have then carry that transaction all over again to borrow the $5 that you initially wanted to borrow. This is what immutability is. So it's not something that you can go and change and say, oh, whatever it is goes into the blockchain, goes into the blockchain. Unless you have to like complete that particular form of transaction for you to be able to like change whatever it is. And it's not it literally is not even changing because you are completing the transaction. You're just now doing it all over again using a different money. So it is not something that somebody will go and put a particular terms and the person will go and change the terms. So in the DeFi space, they have what they call governance. It's not supposed to, because I believe this is a basic session, so I don't want to go deep into explaining how like the functionality of this immutability is. But if anybody needs to change anything in the DeFi space, let's say particular DeFi protocol, they want to change their terms, they usually take permission from the community members, or rather the ecosystem participants, through what they call like most DeFi protocols operate through what they call DAOs, DAO. You can write it down. It means decentralized autonomous organization. If you're a member of a DAO, let's say for example, PancakeSwap is a particular exchange in the DeFi space, is a decentralized exchange. They have their DAO where to be able to like a DAO member, all you need to do is to stake. I will get to that to explain what stake is. Stake a particular amount of BNB tokens and whatnot to lock it up, and that makes you a DAO member. So let's say, for example, there was a term, or let's say somebody wants to come and, or another protocol wants to launch a particular token on the PancakeSwap network, or they want to, I don't know, just let's say they want to build something on the PancakeSwap network. PancakeSwap can, like, if they need to accept that particular kind of thing, or if they need to change anything regarding that new network that is coming, they have to first of all send what they call a contract to, not the normal smart contract now. Sorry, proposal, normal proposal to the DAO members. And the DAO members now get to vote if this change should happen or if it should not happen. And when it's happening, when they say yes, that's when they can now go back to the smart contract and maybe correct whatever it is. But just know that, like, on a normal day, say except through this DAO voting proposal or whatnot, it usually works when they are trying to release something. But say the original framework of the particular DeFi protocol, that is PancakeSwap itself, they can't change the framework unless maybe they're upgrading it. But say changing the old functionalities or how everything works, it's very impossible. That is the immutability that we're talking about there. So does everyone understand everything I have said so far in the session before we move on to the next? Feel free to drop questions in the chat if you have any, so I can, like, as I'm speaking, I would check and I'll respond to your questions. But yeah, let's move on. So the next says, why does DeFi matters? What's going on? Is this internet or what? Please hold on. I'm wondering why my bikini is not coming up. That's weird. Oh, I've seen why it stopped. So sorry. I'm so exhausted. Okay. Yeah. So you may be wondering, why does DeFi matter? Why won't they just leave us to do our normal financial transactions the way we are doing it? Why do we have to go, and why is there something called DeFi? Why does this exist? The first one there is global financial inclusion. So you know how I was making reference to how the time I needed to carry out a form of transaction, a banking transaction, I had to like go to the next town to be able to like do what I needed to do. This is a good example of where we say a particular population, the underserved population, they do not have access to financial service or banking services. So imagine how I had to travel, meaning the people living in that particular environment, if they need to do any form of banking transaction, they have to travel, they have to go through long distances and stress to do it. God forbid something bad happens to them on the way. That's crazy. That's to tell you that they do not have, they are not financially included. That is the lack of financial inclusion we're talking about. But when it comes to DeFi is saying, and that place I went to, they had a lot of people, they had cell phones, like both the old, the young, they had smartphones. You see mommies, they're pressing phone, they at least they know how to they know TikTok. They know they can open TikTok, they can open some of these things. Meaning, if you teach them how to use some of these DeFi platforms, if you teach them, oh, this is where you press to send, this is where you press to like copy your wallet address or your address to send to someone that wants to send you a crypto asset, they can easily learn it because they can literally do other basic things using their cell phone. So DeFi is trying to tell you that everyone in the world deserves to have access to financial services, and that is why it exists. So that is a global financial inclusion. So everybody in the underserved regions, as long as they have access to the internet, they have access to cell phone, to a smartphone, they can carry out any form of like financial transaction thanks to DeFi. And that one there is empowerment through ownership. So you see how also at the beginning of the class, I made mention of how last year in Nigeria, we couldn't access our own funds, our own money. This one is even your own money. It's not like you want to go and borrow the money from somebody. That is, we do not have ownership of our own funds. See, let me just let everybody in this class now know. Your money that you kept in the bank is no longer your money. I hope you all know this. Like, forget the final. I hope we know that the money that is in our bank is not your money. So if that is why you see cases where a particular bank will probably have issues and that bank wants to close down, and it's usually difficult for the bank, the clients or the customers to get their funds. I think to date, I forgot the name of the bank that recently closed. That to date, people are still struggling to get their money back from that bank. You see how crazy that is? That's to tell you that you do not have ownership. But in the DeFi space, to be able to like carry out any of these financial transactions in DeFi, you need to have what I called a self-custodian wallet. Self, S-E-L-F, custodial, C-U-S-T-O-D-I-A-N. Yes, thank you, Divine Heritage Bank. That's the name of the bank. Self-custodial wallet. Self-custodial wallet is a kind of wallet whereby the security of that particular wallet, you are the one in charge of it. Whenever you install this kind of wallet application in your phone, you are the one who set up what they call like 12-seed phrase. It gets generated. You have to keep it because if anybody has access to it, the person has access to your money that is in that particular wallet. The 12-seed phrase or the private keys of that wallet is what people can use to access your money. So it's not for the public eyes, it's for your own eyes. You're meant to keep it. So when you set up your wallet here, every money that comes into that wallet is your own. You are the one that if you go and delete the wallet, you have to think of ways to get, like, if you didn't save your 12-seed phrase or your private keys, you have lost that money. You get, because you are the one literally in charge of everything. Your security, if you keep it at any point in time, if you want to go and spend your money, you can spend your money. Nobody's telling you today there's no cash. Nobody's telling you today you can't come and withdraw your money. Nobody's telling you, and the sweet part, exactly. No one is telling you are not up to 18, so you can't carry financial transactions. You know how if you need to open a bank account, you need to be like 18 and above, unless maybe your parents are the ones opening it for you. Maybe they opened it with your name, but they'll be the ones in charge. So when you get to 18, they'll transfer ownership to you. In the DeFi space, this is not needed, or this doesn't happen. As long as you have the internet, you have a smartphone. That's why we have 16 years. It was very recently, there's this token that was trending, Shield Guy. I think the guy is actually literally a kid. He stumbled on a particular crypto asset or something, and he had a lot of funds and uses to purchase it or something. And it has been trending a lot. The thing made a lot of people so much money, people that were trading that particular coin. But my point in all of this is, because it's DeFi, it didn't need to be up to 18 to have access to carry out these transactions. And that is literally empowerment, because now you are the one that have full ownership of your money. You're the one who gets to decide how you're going to spend your money or when you're going to spend your money. And the other thing that makes DeFi matter there is cost efficiency. So thanks to DeFi, people spend lesser funds to carry out certain transactions. I'll explain. So for those who are into payments, I know we have baristas and what else here, but You may not know so much about this. You see how this are dollar card, for those who probably have a dollar card or a virtual card here, you don't know how it operates back end, but you see people like Gray Finance, what are their names again? Um, so Jesus, Stripe and the rest, Paystack and whatnot are into payments. When they need to move funds, yeah, let's say between Nigeria to Kenya or basically between countries, yeah, it's usually very expensive. The money they pay as they themselves pay as transaction fee, that's issuer fee or whatever it is that they call it in the banking sector. It is usually so hard. But thanks to DeFi, when you carry out certain transactions, depending on the blockchain you're using, I think the only blockchain, two blockchain network where you pay so much transaction fee is Ethereum and Bitcoin. But every other form of blockchain network that you need to carry out any form of transaction there, you are paying anything less than a cent for transaction fee. So let's say, for example, you want to push $10,000. Like I'm talking about these businesses now, they want to push $10,000. They'll spend so much money to move that money. Like they'll spend, let's say 10% to 20%. Yes, it's really between 10% to 20%. Even now with dollar card, if I carry out a transaction on my own dollar card, I know how much I have to pay. Like very recently, I needed to make one payment. I just remember now. Let me use that as a very good example. So I needed to make a payment of I think $524. But I was like, oh, let me just fund my wallet, my dollar card with $600. Instead of $524, money that left my wallet that day was about, it was over $550, around $560 or whatnot, which is the initial money plus the extra money as the transaction fee that the banking network, the bank network they took. And I recently got to understand that these payment companies is really not their fault. It is CBN or whatever central bank in the country where that particular company is registered in. They are the ones who actually take these charges. So thanks to DeFi, you don't need to go through all of this. You don't need to spend so much money for transaction fee, because if you're pushing $10,000 in the blockchain space, in the DeFi space, you want to buy something or you want to trade it. Let's say the max you could probably spend as transaction fee, depending on the blockchain, could be like, let's say extra $1 or $0.5, depending on the blockchain. Some blockchain network require like very simple, like very, very small amount of money as transaction fee or gas fee. So that is the cost efficiency. It is a lot more cheaper when you want to like carry out certain high volume transactions using DeFi or using the blockchain space. So yeah, does everyone understand like what I just explained now regarding why DeFi or why DeFi matters? If anybody asks you, would you be able to tell them, oh, this is why DeFi exists, or this is the problem that DeFi is trying to solve right now in the world? Only one person, okay, two people now. Who else is? Nobody is saying anything. We have a good number of participants here. Ladies, let's be active. All right, thank you. Titi is fine, it's fine. Titi, you've been the one doing thumbs up. It's okay. So yeah, let's now look at the core concepts of DeFi. So DeFi space is, remember how I said it covers everything that has to do with financial services. So let's break it down into some of the major things that it covers. The first one, is smart contract, which is literally what I said before. A blockchain network operates through smart contracts, which are the codes that the developer have created to say that if Sarah clicks on buy, it means this thing that she's trying to do, she's trying to buy this thing. So it has to move from this wallet to this wallet, or from this liquidity pool to this pool and stuff like that. So the first one there, it says self-executing contracts on blockchain platforms. It is Ethereum. We have Ethereum blockchain, Solana blockchain, we have Base chain, and so many others. But yeah, smart contracts is the first one. The next there is decentralized exchanges. So you know how your bank is where you go and buy things. Example of commercial banks, we have GT Bank, Heritage Bank, and whatnot. In the DeFi space, in place of banks, we have what they call decentralized exchanges, which is where you come to trade your digital assets. Examples, we have Uniswap, we have PancakeSwap, we have Radium, we have so I'm saying it, if you're taking notes, please write. Radium is spelled as SRAYDIUM. You can go and read up on these decentralized exchanges. We have Uniswap, we have Pancake, normal pancake you are eating, PancakeSwap. We have Trader Joe, Trader, then JOE Joe. There are so many of them. You could go and check online for like examples of decentralized exchanges. What I'm trying to say here is these are the places, or rather, this is where you come to trade your digital assets that you already have. If you want to buy or sell a particular asset or anything, you come and do them in this DeFi, these decentralized exchanges. Now, the difference between them and the bank is the bank has full ownership, meaning they can close at any point in time. But for decentralized exchanges, they are more of facilitators in the sense that you do not lock your money, like you don't leave your money there unless you take you perform a transaction that will cause staking or liquidity provision. That's the topic for another time. That's like it's the core of how DeFi functions when you talk about staking and whatnot. But aside staking, let's say you are just coming there to trade. Your funds leave your wallet and goes back to your wallet through the smart contract. So let's say you want to buy a particular crypto asset, yeah, whatever it is you want to use to buy, it could be the coin of that particular blockchain network. For Ethereum blockchain, the name of their coin is Ethereum or Ether. For Bitcoin blockchain, the name of their coin is BTC or the same Bitcoin. For Solana blockchain is Sol or Solana. For which other one is there that the name? I'm trying to think of a blockchain that the name of their coin is different. For Polygon blockchain, the name of their coin is Matic, Matic. So let's say you want to buy something on Polygon blockchain, you must have Matic. If you want to buy something on Solana blockchain, you must have Solana because that is what you use to buy the thing. So what these DEXs do for you is they help you carry out the process through the smart contract, which it has already been created with, or it has already been built on there on the blockchain. So what it does is, let's say you want to buy Solana for whatever. So you choose your Solana, the amount of Solana you want to use to buy the thing, and whatever it is that you're buying, you select it from the list of things that are there, or through what they call a contract address. A contract address is an address that shows the location of a particular asset in the blockchain. Everything that is built on the blockchain has a contract address. So I can take it again. A contract address is an address that shows the location of an asset on the blockchain or in the blockchain. I was trying to say something. I mean, it says contract address. Yes. So let's say, for example, you want to buy something on a particular decentralized exchange, and maybe when you search for the name of the thing, is not found. If you know the contract address of the thing, which definitely you will have, you could get it from, I don't know, wherever it is you heard the thing, where you heard about the thing, you can always ask for its contract address. If you paste the contract address on the particular decentralized exchange where you are doing that transaction, the name of the thing will pop up. In as much as that thing is built on that particular blockchain in which that exchange functions, the name of the thing will come up using the contract address. That is why I told us the definition of what a contract address is. It shows you the location of a particular asset on a blockchain or in a blockchain. So maybe you search for the particular asset itself on the exchange and it doesn't come up. If you paste the contract address, the name will pop up and you have to select it. So you have your Solana now. You've seen the name of the thing that you want to buy. So let's say you want to use 2 Solana to buy that particular asset. So what the exchange now do for you is when you click on swap, because it's usually swap that you see, you won't see sell for a decentralized exchange. It's swap, meaning swapping your Solana for that new assets that you're trying to buy. So it is the decentralized exchange that now helps to carry out that function through the smart contract, which it has already been built on, it has been created on. That's why I was saying, if the way the smart contracts work or smart contracts work is, if you click on buy, the smart contract is now telling the blockchain network that Sarah is trying to buy the second asset using this particular asset that she puts at the top. So I'm not using Solana now to buy this second asset. So by clicking on buy, the exchange will now be the one to make that smart contract to work. And immediately when the transaction is confirmed, you'll see that your Solana, maybe if you had 5 Solana before, now you're using 2 Solana to carry this transaction, you'll notice that your Solana is now 3. 2 has already left it. Then the asset you're trying to buy will be purchased. And everything goes back to your wallet. So the Solana leaves your wallet and is now exchanged for the new thing that you're trying to buy. So that new thing you're trying to buy is now what will now be in your wallet. Does this make sense, please? What I'm trying to explain, does it make sense, everyone? Okay, thank you, Raima. So that is why, like, what I'm trying to do, the whole purpose of this long explanation is that the exchange does not hold your money. It does not keep your money, unlike the bank. It stays in your wallet. So instead, it's just helping you to swap this asset for the next asset. So everything remains in your wallet. That is why I said ownership. That is what's like one of the major things that DeFi deals with. Then the next thing there is lending platforms. So just like the way you go to your bank, let's say you want to open a business and you want to take a loan, or you go to Fair Money app, you want to take a loan, or you go to Carbon or the other ones, you can still do the same thing in DeFi space. They have lending and borrowing. Sorry, lending and borrowing. Lending is literally you giving to them, while borrowing is you collecting from them when you are borrowing something from someone. So the lending works the same way as that staking I was trying to explain. So you see how we leaving our money in our bank. Do we know that we are literally lending our funds to the banks? Yes or no? I want responses in the chat. When you leave your money in your bank, do you know that you are lending your money to your bank? Yes or no? Okay. Titi said yes. All right. So the thing is, when your money is in the bank uses your funds to do whatever they please, whatever they chooses. Like they could borrow it to years or people who come there, people who go to the bank to loan for loans and whatnot. It is the money of that me, you, and every other person using that particular bank. This money we've left there that they are loaning out to people. Then these people pay back. The bank collects their interest. But you that have the money, you will not receive from that interest. But in the DeFi space, it does not work like that. If you're lending your crypto assets or your digital assets, sorry, I don't like using the word crypto assets because of our own Nigeria framework. I like prefer to call it digital assets. If you're lending your digital assets to a particular DeFi lending protocol or a DeFi lending platform, you will see it there. It's always they always list it out like, oh, if you're lending USDT, it will tell you the returns, like the returns you will get if it's 2% or 1%, 5%. What this means is if you lend that particular asset to them for the next 1 year, this is the what you're earning in return of it. That's your interest, the interest rate that is coming to you now for lending that particular digital assets to them. So when you lend it to them, it leaves your wallet and it gets locked up in that particular smart contract, which that lending protocol functions. But you receive your earnings, like it will be counting, it will be there in the smart contract counting. Then the day you decide to release it, that's like to collect your money back. Your rewards, which is the interest you earn during the time period that your money was locked up with them, it will also come to your wallet, the extra that you're making from it. But for the banks, it's not like that. If you like, unless maybe you are going through can you explain why banks send interest OPay, for example? I don't understand your question, why they send interest. So I don't understand how OPay functions. I'm not a banker, I have to be honest with you. But I wanted to explain something now called mutual funds. Mutual funds is a feature that I know that the banking network they use whereby you are able to like your money that you're giving to them. So instead of leaving your money in your banking app. So I think mutual funds is something that started very recently. And I think it's because the banks they feel threatened about the whole concept of blockchain because they know that now most people now know about it. So mutual funds, you have for the bank to be able to earn interest rates and whatnot of percent. If you're locking your money up in mutual funds, now this is negative, but like you won't be able to access it until the particular date that you put there, that is when you want to withdraw it, is until that date, it gets to that date before you're able to take out your money and you probably get your interest on top. But in the DeFi space, if you lend your money to a particular protocol, if you want to unlock your money today, you will unlock that money, form of restriction. If you lock it up, let's say, for example, because everything works through what they call APYs, which is annual percentage yield, meaning the interest rate or the yield you're supposed to get from locking your digital assets on that particular protocol for 1 year. So if it's saying in 1 year you're getting 5%, let's say you decide you locked it, but maybe you needed funds. After 20 days, you decide to go and unlock your money. If you calculate it based on 20 days, that's 5%. Whatever it is you arrive at, if you check, you will still receive the reward. So let's say you didn't leave it for 20 days, for the entire 1 year, you left it for just 20 days. Whatever reward that it has based on the calculation of that particular learning protocol, you will still receive the interest rate. So this is where that ownership that I talked about before still comes into fruition, like it comes to limelight, showing you that, it's telling you that at any point in time, you can unlock your money that you've given to them. You can take it back. They're not telling you that, oh, you can't access your funds yet because it's not up to the days. Like maybe you locked it up for 20 or for 1 year. They're not telling you that it's not up to 1 year yet, so you can't access your funds. Lending protocols don't work like that. It is as you lock it. If you say, oh, you don't want to do it again, immediately you want to remove your money, you can always remove your money. And that is the sweet part about it. So same goes for the borrowing. So let's say you want to borrow a particular digital asset from a protocol. You can go there. Each protocol, they have different kind of tokens or crypto assets that or digital assets that they use as what they call collateral. So depending on the particular protocol and the collateral use, if you have it, you present it to them. You see a digital asset is going to ask for as a collateral, by the way. So don't think it's your property. It's not going to be your property. It's still going to be another digital asset. That's another crypto token or coin that is going to take as collateral. Then it will lock it up there and it will loan you or borrow you the funds. And the sweet part about this is, unlike the banks that will require your name, your father's name, your mother's name, your dog's name, your village chief name, how much you're earning per month, your dog's name. Like unlike the bank that will require all of these so many things to be able to give you a loan. In the DeFi space, it doesn't require this. It's just a normal protocol. You go there, you want to borrow, you choose the amount that you need to borrow, you see the collateral for that particular thing you're borrowing. If you have it in your wallet readily, lock it up there, you see the place. Like it's very easy. The directions are usually just there. If you have the collateral, you post the collateral and it gets locked up in a particular smart contract for collateral purposes. Then whatever it is you're borrowing, you take it once you click on the borrow sign, and after, like, if you meet all the requirements that are just there, immediately the particular asset you're borrowing goes straight to your wallet within seconds. So if you need to carry the normal borrowing service from the bank, it could take you weeks to months, but in the DeFi space, it takes you seconds to minutes. It is just as simple as that. Well, there are different lending protocols, by the way. They have Aave, there is Compound, there is Solend. There are so many of them. You can just go read up on them and see how each of them they function. Then the final thing there is stable coins. Now, stable coins are digital assets or cryptocurrencies that are pegged to stable assets like the USD. So many people think stable coins are only those assets that are pegged or tied to the value of dollar. What this means when you hear pegged, it simply means if, let's say, for example, we have stable coins like USDC and DAI, they are pegged to the value of dollar. What it means is if dollar rate is, let's say, 0.5, I don't know. And you see how now we're saying Naira here. If $1 is equivalent to 1,700 naira, it simply means one USDT or one USDC or one DAI is still equivalent to $1,700. It is tied to the value of dollar. Whatever it is that the value of dollar is at that point in time, that is what the value of that particular stable coin that has been pegged to it is. That's like its own value too. So if dollar is going up, USDT is going up. If dollar is coming down, USDT is coming down because it is tied to the value of the dollar. So aside the dollar, there are several other things. There are stable coins that are tied to the value of gold. There are stable coins that are tied to the value of euros. There are stable coins that are tied to the value of the pounds. But the most popular one that people use, because of course we all know how dollar is I don't want to say universal currency now, but it is a currency that they use globally for payments. So it's the same thing. So we'll see how, or rather, not let me not say we, because I'm not the creator. So they've seen how crypto assets are usually very unstable, because you could go check the price of Bitcoin this morning and you probably saw it at $96,000, and maybe you go and check again the price of one Bitcoin. Maybe when you're doing your lending and borrowing now, and let's say, for example, you decide to borrow a particular asset and what you put there as your collateral is not a stable coin. You know, if the collateral, they're telling you the collateral is supposed to be $10,000, for example, and maybe the particular asset you use as your collateral, the price of the thing is very volatile, and it now drops down to $8,000, you get liquidated because that money there is no longer the original amount of the collateral. It is now lesser than it. So this was a problem that was seen in the DeFi space, and there had to be businesses or some companies that now came. Some people came together to build different companies to say, okay, let's now build something that is tied to the value of dollar, so that when we're using them to carry out transactions in the blockchain space, it is more stable. It is more stable rather. So that is how stable coins came into fruition, or they came into existence. So if you need to carry out certain kinds of transactions, like those borrowing and lending, instead of using normal crypto assets for some things that you know that the price or the cost of the thing is very important, you can use your stable coins to like make the payment. Like for me, I prefer to like I earn in dollar, but when I say earn in dollar, I earn in stable coins. So my company, since for the last 4 5 years, I've not received payments for anything in naira. When I do a service for someone, I always charge them in stable coins. So you pay me either in USDT, or you pay me in USDC, or you pay me in DAI. DAI is also another stable coin that is tied to the value of dollar, by the way. But yeah, these are all the concepts of DeFi. Does everyone understand everything I have said so far? If you understand, give me a thumbs up. If you do not understand, ask a question on the in chat and I will check and respond to it. Okay, perfect. So the next thing there is real world impacts of DeFi. So we've talked about what DeFi is, the core components of DeFi. We've talked about why DeFi exists, but I'm sure by now you'll be wondering who are the people that probably used DeFi before. So that's what I want to tell you. The first one is like real world impact of DeFi is access to credit. So there are several businesses that need loans. For example, those businesses that are into cross-border transactions, like the Gray, Bitmama, there is, I think Binance will also do cross-border transactions, because on Binance now there's Binance Pay where you can send somebody money, or you can use it to make payments in certain airports in countries that allow it and stuff. You want to carry out a cross-border trade, which means you're trying to carry out a transaction between several countries, between borders. So let's say between Nigeria and Kenya. So the companies that do these cross-border transactions, they usually have issues. 1 and 2 is literally say the same thing, but I'm trying to use cross-border transactions to explain what I'm trying to explain for you for access to credit. And what they usually do is, for them to be able to finance these transactions that their customers are trying to do, they have to pre-fund, that's like borrow money from the bank. They have to borrow money from the bank. Sorry about that. Let me put my phone on silence. They have to borrow money from the bank. And when they have to like do this, it's usually so expensive. Like these loans, any form of loan, actually, they are usually very expensive. But thanks to DeFi, people can now borrow funds, like businesses can easily like access loans. And the reason why I specifically said access short-term revolving loans. Short-term revolving loans are loans that are usually on the short term, not loans that tell you not loans that will tell you you need oh my god, like they're not like always long term, in the sense that, oh, I'm trying to like look for the right words to use so it doesn't become too confusing for you guys. But short-term revolving loans are loans that let's say you need to take this loan for just 3 days now. I think the standard loan duration for banks is about 30 days or so. But DeFi is telling you you can even collect a loan within 2 days. If you say it's only 2 days and you are going to pay back during that 2 days, you pay back within that 2 days. Revolving means a loan that on payments you collect it again immediately. So let's say Sarah, or let me use another person, Shinwe now is a DeFi protocol, and I am a business that needs to borrow funds from Shinwe. So depending on how we set our agreement, if we say, oh, it's a short-term revolving loan, let's say it's a 3 days revolving loan, simply means that if Shinwe borrows me that particular USDT, that's the stable coin now for me to use to facilitate transactions, after 3 days, because it's a 3 days revolving loan, after 3 days, I have to pay Shinwe back. And immediately I pay Shinwe back, Shinwe gives me that money back again. That is what they mean. That's what is meant by revolving loan. It means it keeps going in circles, but depending on the duration. So if it's a 3 days revolving loan, so if the person borrows the money from the DeFi protocol, from the platform today, after 3 days, the person pays back, and immediately the protocol, the smart contract, the way is already like created, immediately the person returns or pays back the loan, immediately it goes back to the person, unless the person decides to say, oh no, like I am not going to be receiving loans from you anymore, and you end that particular contract and you're like that loan stops coming whenever you pay it back. But if you say it's a 3 days revolving loan or whatnot, after 3 days, if you pay, the thing immediately comes back to you. They give it back to you, loan the money back to you. But that's what I mean by access short-term revolving loans. The next is cross-border payment. So right now, the company I work with is registered in Dubai. And on a norms, if they have to send me money to Nigeria, like they have to first of all convert it from dirhams to naira, and it will take days to get to my bank account. But thanks to DeFi, within seconds, I can receive my payment. So if you are paying me in USDT, if they ask for my wallet address, which is equivalent to your normal bank account number, I tell them my wallet address, they send it to me, and in the next 2 seconds, 3 seconds, I have received it immediately. There's no need for conversions. It's not usually expensive. The gas fee that they will use to send it will probably be less than 2 cents. 2 cents is like $1 is 1,700 naira. 50 cents is half of it. So that's like 1,700 divided by 2 is what? The math is not mathing in my head. That should be around 850. Is it 850? Is it 850? Yes, I think it's 850. So 50 cents is about 850 naira. Meaning 20 cents will be divided, you shall get it. But my point is, you're paying lesser amount of money for like the transaction fees to carry out that particular transaction. The last one that says wealth creation opportunities to earn yield. So remember how I made mention of the lending protocols, how you can lend your crypto or your digital assets to a particular protocol, and in return you earn yields. So no matter the days or the months or weeks or years that you loan or you lend your assets to the protocol, you're always going to earn yield, and that's literally wealth creation. So instead of living like me, for example, I have a particular DeFi protocol where I staked, or where I locked up my funds, like some of my money that I know that I'm not going to use it for any form of transaction. So instead of leaving it in my wallet and not earning anything on top of it, I decided to lock it up on a particular protocol, and I earn yields on top of it. So anytime I decide to say, oh, I'm not doing it again, do not tell me, oh, Sarah, you can't do it yet. I can always go back to that protocol to go and unstake. And when I unstake, my money goes back to my wallet. The reward, which is the yield that I receive from doing that, also comes to my wallet. That is me earning extra cash with my money that I already have. So those are like the three major. There are several other impacts of DeFi, by the way, but I just have to like make mention of these three ones because they're the most important ones that will probably concern us here. Because I believe some of us here will probably end up being lawyers for businesses. Like if you want to be a tech lawyer, these are just the ways that you probably want to like interact with DeFi at one point or the other. Somebody asked a question that I should explain something regarding stable coins. She was like, I need clarification on the importance of stable coins. Does it have any benefits to the currencies it's pegged with? So I don't know what you mean by benefits, but what they do is basically, instead of, USD is your fiat currency, just like Naira. Naira is a currency that is being owned and managed by the Central Bank of Nigeria. The USD, United States dollar, is being owned and managed by the Federal Reserve of the United States. I've forgotten their name, their central bank, their own central bank. The Kenyan shillings is owned and managed by the Central Bank of Kenya. Now, when you're carrying out DeFi transactions, remember I said you use cryptocurrencies to do this, meaning you cannot use your normal dollar to come and carry out a DeFi transaction because Naira is Naira. It is not a blockchain. It's not a cryptocurrency. Any form of transaction that goes on in blockchain that has to do with currency, that has to do with money, they are done with cryptocurrencies. Cryptocurrency is the digital version of like money that you used to do any sort of like financial transaction. So if you need to carry out any of these financial services I've mentioned, you need to have cryptocurrencies. But remember how I said, because so many cryptocurrencies are very volatile, meaning their prices are never stable, people have to, like companies like Tether. Tether is the name of the company that owns USDT or that created USDT. Then Circle is the name of the company that created USDC. I have to make mention of them because they are the two most popular companies, the issuers of stable coins. So Tether had to come with an idea to say, oh, since the dollar is what people use to make global payments, why don't we create a cryptocurrency version of it? Do you understand it now? So it's a cryptocurrency, but it is tied to the value of dollar, meaning that if the dollar rate goes up, the value of it, because of the stable the contract, the smart contracts with which it has been created, is trying to say that if dollar is worth 5 naira, $1 is worth 5 naira, one USDT is also worth 5 naira. If $1 is worth, depending on the country or anywhere, one USDT or one USDC is also worth that particular amount of money. Do you get it now, the benefit of it? So it helps to bring stability. That is why it is called a stable coin. It doesn't, one USDT is one USDT, one USDT is $1, one USDT is not $5, one USDT is $1, because it is tied to the value of dollar. Whatever it is that dollar is, that is what your USDT is. So if I say, oh, I am worth 10 USDT, what I'm trying to tell you is that I am worth $10. If I tell you I am worth 20,000 USDT, I'm trying to tell you that I'm worth $20,000. Do you get it now? Where is the person that asked the question? I need a response from you, TT.
Yes, yes, ma, I can. I guess it's now. Thank you very much, ma.
You're welcome. All right. So the next thing here would be I'm thinking now. Challenges and road ahead. So all good things have, as we all know, everything that is good always have a negative thing. That's why they'll tell you too much of something is not good. Like there's no way everything that's in this life, everything that's an advantage has its disadvantage. So DeFi still has its own problems. The first one there is scalability and high transaction fees. So because DeFi transactions are usually dependent on the blockchain that they are built on, that is where scalability comes in. Scalability means when you say something is scalable, it simply means that if the number of people using that particular thing is increases and the thing doesn't affect the thing negatively, it's safe to say the thing is scalable. Say, for example, we are using Google Meet to have this call. And let's say the way Google Meet was built is it can take up to 100 people. Do you get? So it means if um now we're currently 12, 20 of us on this call. It simply means if 30 people join this call, you see how we're doing it now, the network is not shaking, nothing is happening to it. It simply means if 30 people join this call, the network will not shake and it's still the same. That's what you call scalability. But if as we are 20 now, 30 will now become 30 people on this call. And because of that, the network is now shaking. It is not scalable. It simply means it can't handle the growing number of users that are coming into it. So there are certain blockchains that when the participants of that particular blockchain grows to a certain number, like if there's so much people trying to transact on that particular blockchain at that point in time, the blockchain will start having network issues. It won't run fast. You now probably have to pay high transaction fee for your transactions to like go through. That's because so many people. So because of that, it simply means the particular DeFi protocol or DeFi financial service, that's whatever financial service that has been built using that blockchain. If that blockchain is experiencing slow transaction volume, slow transaction execution at that point in time, you are trying to carry out financial transaction on that blockchain, the transaction is also going to be slow because it's everything that happens on a particular blockchain, like depending on the unit of or the niche in DeFi, in GameFi, in NFC. As long as that protocol is built on a specific kind of blockchain, whatever it is that's happening on that blockchain affects that protocol. So if, for example, I have a DeFi exchange now, like Uniswap, for example, Uniswap is built on Ethereum. If Ethereum blockchain is experiencing a sort of downtime where um, because so many people are transacting on Ethereum. If I try to transact on Uniswap, which is an exchange built on Ethereum, my transaction will also have the same issues. It will probably also be slow, so don't go immediately at the time that it's supposed to. That is the scalability. So there are still some blockchain networks that are facing scalability issues, and because of that, it affects the DeFi protocol that is being built on it. The next day is regulatory uncertainty. This one is self-explanatory with Nigeria. See how right now we're still not sure of the regulations between Web3, that's like crypto and the Nigerian like Nigerian government and whatnot here. That's regulatory thing. So there are still some countries that do not accept like crypto transactions. So that also has an effect in DeFi. So because of that, it's still not like moving or being adopted. Yes, it's still not being adopted by certain people. Like I know a couple of people in Nigeria that will tell you they can't use crypto because the government does not accept it. It's not that they have anything against it, they don't have anything against it. To say as because the government does not accept it, they them do not accept it because they are scared that the government that they will get arrested if the government finds out that they are transacting with crypto. That is the regulatory uncertainty. The third one there says security vulnerabilities. So some smart contracts that are being created, some of these DeFi protocol, lending protocols, or exchanges, when the developers they code them, it's at the end of the day, it's still a code. Same way, Facebook, they could tell you that Facebook API or Twitter API is currently having issues. There was a time on Twitter when people will be trying to like, and the like button was not working. At that point in time, the Twitter API had issues. So Twitter developers had to like look into it and try to see the bug that was causing that problem where people couldn't like photos. It's still the same thing in the blockchain space because it's still developers, humans that they create it. So there are times that they will create like code these protocols where people lock in their money and whatnot. And at the end of the day, they are unable to like there's usually a loophole. And from there are hackers who will now want to hack that platform through that loophole or through that backdoor they've seen. And they end up like taking out all the funds that people have locked up in that particular protocol. That's the security vulnerabilities. There are still certain DeFi protocols that still have such issues. And I think just last month here, I heard of another DeFi protocol that had a security. They had a hack where the hacker made away with thousands of dollars. That is money that has been locked up. But yeah, people can always get their funds back because no. So here's the thing. How will I explain this now for you to understand it? You know how I said your funds that you use in the DeFi stays in your wallet, except you are staking or you are lending. So during these hacks, what happens is the money that is being locked up in that particular pool, that's you've like removed the money from your wallet, it locks it up in a particular pool so you can be earning yield. And when they say hacks like this happen, the hack happens to these pools. Or if we're talking about wallet hack, that is your own wallet address now. Maybe your private keys. I said at the beginning that self-custodial wallets, you have to be in charge of your security, meaning you have to keep your private keys and your 12-sig phrase. If someone has access to your private keys, there are several ways it can happen. It could be maybe you wanted to trade on something, especially people that do airdrops. There's our host that says she did Amstar, she knows Amstar. Some of these links, before you click on them, you have to be sure that that's the correct links because developers or hackers are smart. They could decide to say, oh, Amstar is trending. They'll create a fake one and do a fake website. So Google Meet's website is meet.google.com. And a hacker can decide to do another kind of drainer where the website could be meet.google.com, meet.google.com instead of com. And you'll click on it thinking it's your normal Google Meet link. When you click on it now, it will probably be depending on how that thing was coded, a malware could like be into your wallet and your laptop, or they could be able to like your laptop will have risk, especially those that they do not have strong software whereby insecurity access to notify you. If you don't have one, let's say you go and click on a phishing link and you don't know if it's a phishing link. If you click on it, a virus or the people, depending on how they created it, they could have access to your laptop and steal your data and whatnot to do whatever it is they need to do. It's the same thing happens in the blockchain space regarding wallets. If you go and click on link you don't know, and you've collected that link to your wallet, if the link is a drainer, you could decide to click on it, and when you click on it, maybe the person that coded it has said, oh, if this person clicks on this particular thing, this person is giving me access to the wallet, so I can now move all the money in the person's wallet to my wallet. That is what you call a wallet attack or a wallet bug or whatever, a wallet hack. So these are still issues that are being faced in the crypto space or in the DeFi space because some people, their heads is shake. There are some developers that develop these things and at the end of the day end up having security issues. But a way out, which is like opportunities now for this kind of situation. Right now, they have what they call auditors in the blockchain space. An auditor is a person who checks or a company that checks the smart contract of a particular protocol to ensure that it doesn't have loopholes or backdoors. So what these auditors do is they verify the smart contract to be sure that, oh, they are not trying to steal money from people, whereby if you lock funds in a particular pool and at the end of the day, do write on their website, we have hacked you, there's nothing you can do about it. Yes, I've seen a protocol that have done that before. So the auditors audit their smart contracts to ensure that there's no backdoor and it's safe for people to interact with. So that's on the level of DeFi protocols. On the level of you as an individual, it is your duty to ensure that before you click on any particular link, you have to verify if that is the correct link. Very recently, I almost fell prey, but because I am smart enough and I know that people use it to steal people's money from their wallet. So these people, they shared me a link that we should join up on a virtual call. It was for a company that wanted to use my services. So go now, your camera is on, and I can see you're losing your hair. Sorry. So they sent Kakao. Kakao Talk is actually a virtual call application in China, just like Google Meet. And I saw the link. I just said, let me go and check if this is correct link. And when I went to check, I saw that was not the correct Kakao Talk link. And if I clicked on that link, only God knows what would have happened. Actually, I know what would have happened because I went on Twitter to go and search for the people. And I realized that so many people are falling victim to them. After they click on the link, the thing then gives the people access to your crypto wallet and they will drain your wallet, like take out any money you have in your wallet through that particular thing. So it's very important to always make sure that you as an individual, you're careful of the kind of links, no matter the airdrop, whatever it is that you're doing. Make sure that the link you're clicking on is the correct one and not the fake one. Or somebody is telling you, let's jump on the Google call to discuss this business or whatnot. Use this link to book the call. Ensure that that link they share to you. Go online. The way it works is someone sends me a Calendly link to say, Sarah, join this meeting. Now go online and check calendly.com. I will look at it word for word. If the letters are the same, if it's the same, okay, good, then I'll join the call. You always have to do that so that you don't fall prey to these people. Another opportunity there, based on issues of scalability. So now, Ethereum is a very good blockchain that experiences what they call scalability issues, meaning Ethereum blockchain has a lot of users. So because of that, people pay high transaction fee, or people were paying high transaction fee, but right now people don't pay so much because there are now what they call layer 2 solutions. Layer 2 solutions are blockchains that are built on an existing blockchain to help solve some of the problems that blockchain is having. So instead of people like everybody who wants to build on Ethereum to go and build on Ethereum, there are now blockchains like Polygon and Arbitrum who uses the same Ethereum infrastructure, but it's now helping to save like the users of Ethereum. So instead of having 5 million of us want to go and build on Ethereum, we can decide to go and build on Polygon or Arbitrum because they are literally still Ethereum. The only difference now is that they are now smaller blockchains that are in existence to help aid the users of Ethereum. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Let me know if you get what I just explained. Okay, Slayo gave me a thumbs up. All right, great. So you guys get it. So layer 2 solutions, these blockchains are trying to help solve the scalability issues. And that's why right now, like before, there are some transactions we want to do on Ethereum. I'm paying $10 for gas fee. Yes, I have paid before. I've paid $100 for gas fee, transaction fee on Ethereum blockchain. But right now, we pay as little as, depending on the transaction, $1, $2, $5. Even I've paid 5 cents very recently. That's $0.5 for transaction fee on Ethereum. That is because these other layer 2 blockchains now exist. So it has now reduced the number of users on Ethereum blockchain. Another way regarding the issue of adoption, there is now increased adoption with user-friendly interfaces. So initially, nobody liked using MetaMask. Is like one of the oldest crypto wallets, self-custodial wallets. People like me, I hated MetaMask when I nearly came into the blockchain space because the user face was so, even to date, they refuse to change it. People have complained several times. You have to know a blockchain or Web3 to an extent to be able to use MetaMask effectively. But right now, there are several other wallets like Trust Wallet, Solana, Radium, and so many others with easy user-friendly interfaces whereby the place to send, you are seeing it there is in your front, send, you click on send. If the place to receive, you click on receive, you copy your wallet address, send it to the person. So because of that, a lot more people are being onboarded into the space and they now use these other new applications or decentralized applications that are being built to carry out whatever transaction that they need to do. And with that, I think I've been able to like explain to us how DeFi is solving the issue of like global payments through the fact like DeFi is not just about technology, it's about unlocking opportunities for billions of people worldwide. So as long as you have access to internet and a smartphone, you can participate in DeFi services. And with that, I have come to the end of my presentation today. Thank you, ladies, so much for having me. At this point, sorry, before I do the vote of thanks, if you have any question, feel free to ask and I'll respond. Someone's hand was up just now. I don't know. I think the hand has been lowered. If you have any question, you can type it out on the chat or you can raise your hand up. And if I see, I'll tell you to like go on. Okay, nobody have any question. Okay. Okay. All right. That means you all understand everything I have said so far. Is that right? If you understand or if you understood everything I've said since the beginning of this session, please react. React. Let me see. Let me know. Thank you, Divine. Divine said the session was educating and simplified. I love that. I love that it was simplified. So right now, I want to believe we all have basic knowledge because this is more of like a basic training. I didn't go into the core functionalities of DeFi because for your level or for um, your niche or your industry, everything we've talked about today, these are the areas that you would have to interact with the DeFi space. To send money, to receive money, to take loan, to loan your own money, rather to lend your own money, to help your own clients. Like let's say you have a client in the tech space that is cross-border payments, you could always advise them if you do your own research on the right DeFi protocols or the right DeFi platforms to lend money or to loan money, and they'll be able to do that. So Mansa that I mentioned, remember the thing I mentioned I work with Mansa. So Mansa is a fintech that uses DeFi to help companies that are into cross-border payments with liquidity. So you know how I said these businesses that do cross-border transactions, they have to like collect money from the bank, and most times it takes a lot of time for them to like access this money. So because of that, their transactions are usually slow and whatnot. So what Mansa will do is we use stable coins. Think of it. I mentioned it before in the session. We collect stable coins. So we have liquidity pools in different DeFi protocols where people can come and lock up their USDT, or they can come and lock up their any form of their digital assets, and in return they earn USDT as a yield for locking up their money. So those money that those people lock up will now take it, yeah, and use it to do transactions. That's used to provide liquidity to the companies that are into cross-border payments. And when we loan them this money, or rather will borrow them this money. In return, they pay us interest. Now, from the interest that they pay us, the people that provide liquidity in those are DeFi pools, or people that lend their money to us, in return, they get to earn reward. That's the APYs or the interest rates that I made mention of. So you see how it works. This is a real life example of a DeFi protocol that is already in action. That is Mansa. You can go read more about us, but we don't love to, we prefer to call ourselves a fintech rather than a DeFi protocol because of the old regulation issues. But yeah, that is basically what we do at Manta, and that's like a good example of what DeFi is doing. And we work with businesses in the emerging markets. That's businesses that their markets, they do not have so much access to money. Like in the US and the UK, the way businesses can easily access money is not the same thing with here in Africa. A business like Gray, for Gray to have money, like to be able to finance transactions going on Gray Finance, they have to like have a large network and be able to like have built good rep to access bank loans for them to now use as liquidity for their customers. But people like us at Manta were trying to say, oh, we are here for you. We can help you get these loans and use it to facilitate payments on your platform. So yeah, that is basically it about this session today. Thank you all so much for coming. Thank you for those of us that joined from the beginning and you're still here. Thank you for joining. You can connect with me if you want to. My handle is at Desera Idahosa. My username is at Desera Idahosa. You can just copy that out. On LinkedIn, just search me up as Sarah Idahosa. You see me there. You see this picture. If you don't see this picture, you see another picture of me. I think I was like this. I don't know. Or this hair. I don't know. But I believe but the name is just Sarah Idahosa on LinkedIn. Then you can also reach out to me via email, saraidahosa001@gmail.com, or check my website, www.saraidahosa.com. You could see more about what I do. And yeah, and don't forget, if you're a lady, maybe you want to join a community of women that are into DeFi, you could check out womenindfi.org. I could write it in the chat so we'll see it there. So if you want to join WID, you can search us on Google, and you can also join our community from there, from the website. But yeah, thank you all so much for having me. I had a wonderful time doing this with all of you, and I hope that whenever or wherever you find yourself and someone asks you, oh, what is DeFi, you're able to explain. I'll try my best to send this presentation deck to Ms. Debbie so she can also share it with all of you, so you can also like have access to it, and in case you needed to read more and to learn more, you'd have it at the tip of your fingers. But yeah, thank you all so much. Our MC, our Osaisi here.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, thank you very much, ma'am, for
You're
the
welcome.
session. I've really learned a lot, and I hope I also get the slides so I can go through it again myself. Thank you very much, ma'am.
You're welcome.
Okay, are there any persons that want to ask a question? If no, okay, so we'll let the pioneer of the Hilton top solicitors just come and give her closing remarks. Mrs. Deborah Oni, please, ma, you have the floor to give your closing remarks this evening.
Thank you so much, Sharon. Sarah, thank you for a highly insightful session. Hello, Sarah. Thank you so
Hi,
much.
ma, I can hear
Yes,
you.
yes, God bless
Welcome.
you. Thank you. Despite your trip, you were still able to, devote your time and give us a very detailed session like this. I really want to say a very big thank you for your support for this platform. I think this is your second time on this platform. I understand your busy
Yes.
schedule, yeah, and you carving at that time to make that sacrifice to be here. It's something I really want to appreciate you for. And ladies, of course, Sarah, like she said, is the founder of the Women in DeFi. And so you would want to connect with people like her as well to be able to expand your knowledge within the blockchain space, and most especially within the DeFi, the decentralized finance space, right? And then it would be great to connect with her and with what she does, and even the women in DeFi community, right? So like I said, I really appreciate you for the time, the sacrifice, and then the wealth of knowledge that you've been able to share with our community. Yes, due to the shift in the time, we were not able to register a large participant here today. One, we've had an earlier session, but that was not an excuse. But because the majority of them are within the school community, on the platform, they have shared that the time was not so convenient for them. I believe some are having sessions in class or something, and that's why there's this low attendance and all that. But of course, for those that are here, I really appreciate you. And then, of course, we will share the recordings, and the rest of you can always pick more lessons and connect with Sarah. So I say a very big thank you to you, Sarah, for your time, this act of sacrifice, and the sharing of your wealth of knowledge with this amazing community of phenomenal women. Thank you so much for what you do and all that you represent within the space of the Web3, within the space of the DeFi, within the space of blockchain. So here is to more collaboration, and here is to building more women into the space in our various endeavors that we do to empower women into this space. Thank you so much, Sarah. God bless you a lot. Yes, thank you. I've seen that you've shared the slides with me. Thank you so much. I'll share it with the ladies as well. Thank you so much, Sarah. So do enjoy your stay where you travel to, and I pray God that what you went for will also be a great success, and all your endeavors will be great to the glory of God. God bless.
Amen. Thank you very, very much, Ma. It's always an honor to be here to share with your ladies. And yeah, thank you so much for the opportunity. Thank you for having me. I look forward to doing this with you again in the future.
Very well there. God bless. I appreciate you greatly.
All right, ma'am. Bye. Bye.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Madam Deborah Oni. This is a very beautiful opportunity for young lawyers like us that are women. And some of this knowledge that we learn here every time, we can't pay for it. Thank you very much, ma. Thank you, ma.
Thank you so much, Sharon. I appreciate you too, and I appreciate every one of you for your time and for your commitment to learning and to understand the emerging trends so as to be well directed and also be empowered. If you listened very well to Sarah Idahosa, you would have been able to pick some things for yourself also, even apart from, like I said, apart from being part of the ecosystem builders, even as a user in the space, you will see that you get empowered. So from the DeFi space, you can see that you can actually, play a great role there and get yourself empowered while you are also trying to see opportunities to also be a builder in this space in any aspect of the opportunities, right? So I appreciate you all for your commitment. And like we said earlier, it wasn't like we didn't want people to attend. That was why we pushed it to 3:30. No, but of course we have to also work with the timing of the speaker. So like I said, she traveled, and the time that her flight got to where the destination was, this was the convenient time. We were to have her yesterday, but due to the busy schedule, so we had to push it back today. She was supposed to be the second speaker yesterday. So I mean, these are people that are all busy, but they still try to accommodate us one way or the other. So I appreciate every one of you who is committed one way or the other to avail yourself to learn from all these various industry experts that we have provided you with. And I really want you all to take it seriously, what we are learning here, and just see how you go through it again and see the aspect that resonates with you. From now, you should have been picking one way or the other the aspect that really aligns with you. We've dealt so much within the blockchain space. All these things don't get confused. They are all within still the various aspects of the blockchain, right? And so this is to open you up more to be able to do further research, connect with these industry experts, and ask questions that you probably cleared about, right? And then I know that the sky will just be your beginning. So thank you, ladies. I know that we have a session tomorrow. The Leonard Silk Atoyebi will be here with us tomorrow, and then of course we'll be concluding this session or this particular edition on Saturday, right? And then probably the graduation will be on Sunday, but I'll leave that for the announcement to be done by the coordinator, right? So I appreciate you all, and if you know you'll be interested in the certificate and you've not yet indicated, kindly do that so we can prepare early and give to you at the end of the program, right? Thank you so much, Sharon, and thank you. I can see Sarah, the coordinator, is online too. Thank you, everyone. Amazing ladies. This is from me to you. I say big thank you to you. To see tomorrow. So over to you, ladies. If there's any other announcement you would want to give, thank you. Okay. So
Sorry, there is an announcement.
okay.
Sorry, ma. There are a few announcements I would like to make.
Go ahead, please.
Okay. So I want us ladies to please get ready for tomorrow's session, just like Madam Deborah has said. Let us not show up like just few in numbers, please. And then tomorrow we're having a knowledge sharing session on X, formerly known as Twitter, by 5 p.m. Work with your teammates to prepare your articles and slides for your presentation on Saturday. Articles are to be submitted tomorrow night, which is Friday night. Personal articles are to be submitted next week, Saturday. After the session tomorrow, we have a career mapping session to help us guide our career paths. That's all for the announcements. Thank you, ma.
All right. Thank you so much. Do we have anything from Sarah? Thank you, Sharon. All right. If not, I think that with that, we have come to the end of the meeting. God bless you all, amazing ladies. Do enjoy the rest of your evening till we see tomorrow again. God bless. Thank you, Sharon.